So advertising takes many forms. Branded entertainment was a mainstay during the earliest days of radio and television. Advertising and agencies developed programs and brought them to the network. These programs were often named for their sponsors. So, for example, NBC Network once offered programs such as the Colgate Comedy Hour, Kraft Television Theater, and the Philco Television Playhouse. The Texaco Star Theater began as a radio program in the 30s and moved to television in the 40s. And soap operas are another example of brand-sponsored program. For example, Procter & Gamble sponsored the production of CBS's As the World Turns. And being the sole sponsor of a program is very costly, however. And so that's one reason why this model from television's early years gave way to dividing the sponsorship among many advertisers into 30 or 60-second television commercials. These things used to take a long time. All right, by sponsoring good television entertainment, brands acquire a cachet of the programming. Product placement in which brands are embedded into television or web programs banks on the same cachet, hoping that the viewer associates the brand with the characters on the show or with the likability of the program itself. Today, branded sponsorship or entertainment also seeks to target specific audience and endear itself to them by giving them something they want and enjoy. Branded entertainment includes original content into which a brand is organically integrated. It can take the form of online programming, including web TV and web films, social games, mobile apps, social networks, motion pictures, and branded platforms that may feature multiple brands. I think one of the first brand placement example was E.T. It's one of the first that I remember, at least. E.T. had gone to M&M's. I don't know if you remember the scene where Elliot tries to lure E.T. out of the shed or behind a bush or something, and he puts down Reese's Pieces. Well, they originally had gone to M&M's, and M&M's were like, I don't want to be a part of your weird alien movie. And so they went with Reese's Pieces. And after the movie, Reese's Pieces sales absolutely skyrocketed. They went from nothing to very, very popular.
Welcome to Baskin Robbins. Would you like to try our mango fruit flask?
Morning, Sergeant Jeff. How's your day today?
It's a muffin day, sweetheart.
Hi. Baka.
What do we got? A little rosé? Some middle
Flying in and going up and down the coast? Wow. I can't believe we're here.
TurboTax have made it so easy to do your taxes, you can now file them on your phone.
Here's your beer.
Wow, we're really at a festival.
We found this house on Zillow.
Some tequila for the big kid.
How's my favorite mom? What's so nice of you to remember Daddy's birthday? Bye,
I love this new cord-free vacuum.
And I recently upgraded to the V8 and it's incredible.
Active HDR with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos.
So we're currently at the NBA Live 2018 event for EA. There is no other game like this.
I love you. Do not miss me too much.
Yeah, so you can believe anytime you have seen a product, a car, an application, food, drink, anything in a, I have to figure out how this works. In an ad, it was there on purpose, and they paid to be in that movie. Usually they don't get paid, but they paid to be in that movie. That's their advertising. So here's another ad. What's this one for?
But I'm a comedian. I'm a
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that.
That's crazy.
You got yourself a gay dog.
This is awkward. I have 7 kids.
I am as much of a as people suspect.
Is one of the case studies I want you to read at some point soon here for the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. Web Therapy, which we saw with Lisa Kudrow in this episodic branded programming, is brought to you by L Studio, created by Lexus. So they have whole channels where it is just selected and advertised. I cannot with this. Okay, so case study, the history. Or For the Love of Music, the history of Nashville. For the Love of Music far surpassed any previous marketing efforts in the Nashville Convention and Visitors Bureau. 24 of the biggest names in music starred in and promoted the film to their more than 20 million social followers for free. It aired on some of the biggest television networks in the world, including ABC, Foxtel, Palladia, and CMT. The film even gave ABC a 38% bump in ratings in its on-air debut. It's been talked about in magazine, featured on blogs, news sites, and even Southwest Airlines Company blog. And since the film debuted, visits to visitmusiccity.com have increased 787%, and hotel bookings are up 18%. Nashville has created the film with helping spark the biggest tourism boom in the city's history, all without traditional advertising or a dime spent on media. So I'm going to ask you to please read the case study of For the Love of Music. I think it's the history of Nashville. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's one of the case studies in there. Okay, I won't go into it. It's like really long, this video. I don't know how long this is. It's only 2 minutes. We can watch this.
All right.
If you're passionate enough about what you do, if you're good enough at what you do, all your dreams can come true in this town.
No matter what kind of music you make, there's a place for you here that you're gonna be liked and loved.
That's what put Nashville ahead of other places. It was heart and soul.
They started making music, and hits started coming.
Everything else grew up here because the Grand Ole Opry was the trunk of the tree. It was the foundation. And the recording studios came here. The entertainers came here. The songwriters came here.
And it was like, wow. You know, we just got to do Land of Oz.
There was the perception that it was only country music. It's a closed door. And man, that couldn't be further from the truth.
But you can't get that many talented people in one area and expect the genres not to grow.
There really are no parameters. You know, there are no walls. You can do whatever you want to do in Nashville.
One night we had Megadeth, Big and Rich, Mariah Carey, and DMC from Run DMC. That's special.
I feel like I'm not as cool as a lot of the kids walking around here.
It's really gaining a lot of momentum recently.
The town has this energy. There's this thing there that I think is magical.
There's been this massive convergence of musicians from all around the world.
Music City is now truly Music City.
All right, so that's pretty neat, but that is actually an advertisement disguised as a documentary. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Okay. All right, so if there's one thing I want you to do is start being more critical of what you're looking at and realize if it's an ad created to target you or if it is truly what it's supposed to be. All right, realizing that the tools to create and share advertising messages are available to the average person and that many people want to co-create, some brands have turned to soliciting advertising created by consumers called consumer-generated content or user-generated content, or UGC. For example, Doritos brand Snacks Food started an impressive conversation with consumers through a strategy of co-creation sponsoring contests for amateur filmmakers to create commercials. For this kind of advertising work, brands must recognize and accept that the public has an enormous sway over brands' content anyway, and through blogging, reviewing, parody videos, takeoffs, and more. For Hanes, as part of a campaign for a new line of colorful underwear aimed at millennial women with the goal of getting them to think of Hanes as fashion-forward brand, agency 360i asked women online, "What color underwear are you wearing?" And women shared their responses through the video Undercover Color, which drew over 350 million earned media impressions. And any publicity achieved that a brand is not paid for but earned, such as impressions created by social sharing, news coverage, reviews, or word of mouth. And lots of data about underwear. When millennial women think of Hanes, they often think of the brand's comfy, fuller coverage styles. So when Hanes launched a new line of stylish, colorful underwear for young women, they asked us to help bring them out of the comfort conversation and into the fashion conversation. And then there's in-game advertising. Whether a product placement, live billboard feeds, or ads embedded into games is often well received by appropriately targeted gamer audiences. Research indicates that young male gamers think of product placement enhances the reality of the content and game experience. So you've probably seen ads in your games, and they're there on purpose just for you. A branded utility is a product created by a brand or sponsor that's ostensibly useful to the audience and generally, but not always, offered free of charge. The branded utility or product should provide a useful or pleasant experience for the user. So for example, ColorSnap from Sherwin-Williams enables users to take real-world colors and turn them into paint color swatches on their smartphone. The Glad Products company Trash Smart app finds nearby locations to recycle hundreds of household items, and Vodafone's Pocket Power is clothing that charges smartphones. The tradition of branded utilities dates back to the first Michelin guide for French motorists to facilitate their travels. Branded utilities continue to flourish in a variety of forms, from books to web-based games to mobile apps. Nike Plus is a proprietary web platform, a complex branded utility that offers something useful, providing a training system that lets runners easily track and share their running data on a global community that operates 24/7.